let us know when we should start.
Yes. So yeah, we can start. Hello, everyone.
Firuza, over to you.
I can start, right?
Yes, please.
I thought Miss Nadira, you were going to tell something.
Yeah, sorry. I thought that I should pass the baton to Yelena, and then Yelena will introduce Firuza. So yeah, there are too many kind of moderators.
Okay.
But yeah, Firuza.
Well, good evening, colleagues. Thank you for joining us. And welcome to our second club of article discussion. And my special thanks to Aziza Hakimova for agreeing to share her thoughts about her own article. I will introduce today's, let's say, brief agenda after Yelena Volkova. So, Miss Yelena, please, if you have a few words, you can.
Okay. Yes, this has not yet become the tradition, but this is a good signal that the second time we organize the article discussion club on behalf of Active Learning and Teaching of Foreign Languages in Uzbekistan magazine. And let me remind you that this is a local publication that is accredited by the VAC, and this is a very good place to publish for all those interested people who are doing their research, maybe those who are at the moment enrolled onto the masters at Webster or any other universities in education and language teaching, or some people who are doing their doctoral studies. And this is also a very good space for novice teachers and for those teachers who are just ready to share their experiences and emotions. Yes, this is nice to hear children with us. Can you please mute yourself? Maftuna, thank you. Madina, sorry. And just to remind you that every time we welcome drafts for publishing, and although the COVID situation introduced some changes that are not positive changes, because the publishing house is different these days, and we are going to move the magazine completely online very soon, about which we will inform our readership and our authors. But anyway, the magazine still exists, it still functions, it produces quite interesting outcomes. So my purpose and my aim is to promote the magazine at all times in all audiences across our country and internationally as well. And join us, and thank you very much for being authors and readers, and thank you for joining us for this article discussion. And as ever, we highly appreciate all your contributions. Don't forget that such an opportunity for your development exists. So without further ado, I think I pass my word to Firuza, who is the moderator. Thank you, Firuza, for agreeing to support this initiative, because this is not a simple thing to do. Sorry.
Thank you.
But highly appreciate it. Over to you.
Thank you. Okay. Well, now let me introduce our today's hero. Well, Aziza, as I have mentioned, so she is a lecturer at Westminster University in Tashkent, and she teaches iCitizen. So this is a new model this year at university. If you are interested, maybe you may ask some questions even about the subject that she teaches. Okay, let me first tell how we are going to run the discussion. Okay, just a second. So as you can see here, so here the question number, and if you notice, so the questions are in different colors. So first we will ask questions well, from Aziza Hakimova. And of course, if you would like to ask some additional questions, you're welcome. And these questions in red are specifically designed for the participants, okay? Once you see these questions in red, so please try to be more active, okay? So I hope we will have a, well, very productive discussion, and I invite all of you to contribute to our, well, talk. Okay. So Aziza, are you ready? How do you feel?
Very good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then, first of all, I would like to ask all participants, how many of you have read the article? It is still okay if you didn't, but still I would like to see the picture, if it is possible. Could you please, like type plus or yes, or I don't know. So in order to, well, confirm that you read or no. Okay. Well, I can see for not students, I'm sorry, colleagues, yeah, participants who read. Okay. Anyway, if you didn't, even if you didn't read the article, still okay. So still you can ask some questions. Okay. So the first question is, Aziza, first, so in this article, you mainly described your experiences and your thoughts about the teacher training course that you have recently taken, right? And it was really interesting to find out them. And could you please first briefly tell us about this teacher training course that you mentioned in the article?
Yeah, I was talking here about PG Cert, postgraduate certificate for learning and teaching. Am I right? We should say first learning and then teaching, right, Elena?
Good student, right?
Yes. No, because for me, actually, this course changed completely everything. I mean, it opened the doors where this activity, this process was kind of learning fun. Learning, it's really fun for me. Became fun during thanks to this course, because every session when we sit there, I didn't even notice how time passed very fast. It was actually sometimes we said 3 hours, and then teachers say, okay, classes session is over. And I was so surprised, how come that it's over? Usually I remember my students' life when I was studying at the university. We always waiting time when it's finished and we will go to cinema or to whatever to eat or other things. And we were waiting for the enjoyment. But here, for me, this was really enjoying. This was kind of, you know, like feeling during a holiday, you feel yourself relaxed. This was my feelings during all these sessions. I loved it very much.
Yeah, yes, I agree, Aziza. It's a great opportunity to be a teacher and at the same time to feel yourself as a student. Yeah. Okay, and well, thank you for your answer, Aziza. And I would like to invite our participants to share their experiences in any teacher training courses. So I can see here, well, Ms. Jamilia Mahmudova. So she says that she participated in Dee Broughton's project, yeah, academic writing project. I think this is very popular project, right? Most of us participated in this project. I wrote article, but didn't send it anywhere. I still should work on my article. Yes, of course, Ms. Jamilia, why not? Okay, so I would like to invite you to unmute yourself and use your voices and let us hear you. Okay, so Dear colleagues, what kind of courses did you take so far to improve your own teaching skills? Yeah.
May I
Shall
say
I?
something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, in 2016, I won the Best Teacher Prize, and after that, I have won the study tour. It was a teacher training course in Scotland, in the Glasgow Caledonian University. It was organized by ITF.
IATEFL.
Yeah. Right now, I can't remember.
IATEFL?
No, it was also International Teaching Association.
Yeah, IATEFL. Yeah,
And
International Association of Teachers of English. Yes.
It lasted 15 days, and in this teacher training course, we had a great opportunity to learn. First of all, in teaching young learners, I obtained a lot of information and learned how to engage in learning process especially for young learners. And besides that, I also mentioned that most teachers in Uzbekistan have one mistake in ICQs. Checking questions, for example, most teachers use, do you understand pupils, or is it all right for you, is it clear? And it is very unnecessary questions for teachers to check the understanding of these pupils. I also learned that one. And if I tell the truth, it was very great opportunity and then experience to exchange our skills and sharpen our teaching skills also. And besides that, we had learned limericks, grammar concept questions, and timelines also. And I never forget this teaching process. After coming back to Uzbekistan, I realized that the one thing that I never get stressed for pupils while they're making some noise or while they are not understanding the topic. I just how can I say? I just went through all these challenges with an ease after this training course. And I really like it being on training courses.
Yeah, great, Madina. I hope now you are applying all these experiences into practice. Thank you, Madina, very much. Okay.
Thank you also for listening.
Yeah. Okay. Now, let me move on to the next question. Okay, just a second. Okay. So, Aziza, I'm again addressing to you. Well, in your article, you mentioned several postulates, yeah? Yeah, I have just copied and pasted all of them. And yeah, and could you please tell us which one is the most crucial for you?
Firuza, you stop sharing your screen if you're referring to your PowerPoint.
Sorry, Ms. Nadira, what is it?
Are you referring to the PowerPoint?
Yes.
You're not sharing your screen. You're not sharing your presentation.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. Just a second. Yeah. And what about now?
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay.
Yes.
So I hope it is visible. So as you can see here, I have copied and pasted all what you have mentioned. And among of them, which one is the most crucial for now? So
for now, and it was in past, in future, the most important thing is the best teacher must have a soul. This is the most important thing. If you have a soul, you will admit everything. You will love people. You will love working with people, and you will be not afraid to make mistakes. And you will be ready to get different kind of challenges. And I think everything actually comes to soul. Soul is the most important thing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Aziza. Okay. And now again, I would like to address, well, with this question to all the participants about their motto. So I believe that good teachers usually have their own mottos in teaching, right? Okay. Could you please share such mottos, well, let's say, or guidelines that you usually follow in teaching?
May I add one more thing to this, my comment?
Yes, of course, Aziza.
When I was thinking about to which teacher I should go with my daughter when she came to the school, first day in the school, and here I had an advice, different advices, and this teacher is very clever, bright, and she's very strict. And another teacher I saw, she was very young, unprofessional, and standing on the corner and waiting till other people will come, other parents will come with their children. And very few people came to see her. And when I go, I had an options to choose this strict one, clever one, or this unprofessional. But when I saw how she was talking with children, I said, my daughter will go to this teacher because she's so nice. And I was not mistaken. I'm very proud that I made the right choice because my daughter, she is now 20 years old and she still remembers this teacher. I remember she comes, she says, Mom, I love when she teach. I love to be her pupil because, she has very beautiful hairstyle. She has very good manicure. And, she sees and she always shares what kind of color she choose, things like this. I remember when my first teacher, she was very strict. And sometimes when we ask what haircut should I have, she said, you should never think about this because this your most important thing, priority is just lessons. You should do your lesson, that's it, don't think about other things. But here I saw very good combination, that education plus different such kind of things like hairstyle, like just clothing, what kind of clothes, and other groups, musics. They just used to talk about everything. And my daughter still loves this teacher and still she sends some letters to her.
Yes, Aziza, it's great. So I can say that that teacher was kind of role model for your daughter, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Aziza, for sharing this experience. Okay. Well, dear colleagues, would you like to share your motto in teaching? It can be a quote that you usually refer to, or I don't know, any kind of, let's say, any kind of statement that usually depicts your own teaching. For example, I would say about mine, so mine is very simple. We must teach all. It sounds very simple. Why? Because, we usually, teachers want clever, well-behaved students all the time, right? But being in profession more than 10 years now, I understand that we should be ready to teach everybody, no matter of their behavior or level of knowledge. So we should try some ways, yeah? Okay, so colleagues, any opinions?
Firuza, I have a suggestion.
Yes, please.
Can I have a suggestion, Firuza?
Yes, sure.
Nadira, can we all type in the chat? Are we allowed? Do we have this option? Yes.
Yes.
I suggest that those people who knows their motto, we can type it in the chat so that everybody can see. And Aziza as the hero of the discussion, will pick something that we want to hear about a little bit more. Do you think it's going to be more interesting?
Yes.
Shall we do it? Because in this manner, everybody will have an opportunity to share, and Aziza will have a responsibility to choose.
Wow.
Great idea. Now, well,
Okay, yes, I'm also typing. Okay, but Aziza,
okay.
you don't choose me.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, colleagues, let's start.
Yeah, while we're doing that, I just wanted 1 or 2 months before, we had a similar contest on Facebook group, if you remember. There was share your best teaching quote, and I don't remember, was it the British Council, I think, gave the
Yes, it was
awards for the kind of the best. No, we chose it randomly, by the way. But yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah, there were so many wonderful and inspiring quotes about teaching and teachers. Yeah.
Which one did you like?
Who's gonna
Oh,
choose?
well, I
Me or
don't
you?
remember. I don't remember even. Yeah, there were so many good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Aziza, are you reading?
Firuza,
Yes.
I suggest that you do the countdown from 10 to 0 so that people know when to finish, and then Aziza will choose. Otherwise, we can be waiting for a long time for people to write, okay?
Okay. So I will count just silently till 10. Okay. And then we will stop. Okay. Okay, time is up. But still I can see some, well, typing noises. Okay. Well, Aziza, I can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 5 quotes, mottos. So what do you think?
I think make a difference. I think this is the most interesting one because I remember from my seminars, my lectures, I've been talking to my students, and when I say they're asking different questions and asking, can I ask you a question? Is it not very silly question? I said, no, if you have questions never be silly, never be stupid. So please ask any question and try to answer yourself. Maybe you have already your own answer, but you are just shy to share your answer. So, and they were so surprised that they can say anything, and they were not afraid to say their opinions, their thoughts. And this is kind of, I think it affects to people's opinion, point of view, because they don't be afraid to be different, and they are looking into the things differently. I know that a lot of people just, they have stereotypes of thinking just in one, how to say, direction. But here we should create for them a possibility, opportunity to have, to go to different directions, to try open different doors and find different answers. Because I know that we say there is only one truth. No, truth is not only one, the only truth. Truth can be different, it depending on people, it depending on the situation, condition. So they have to look differently into the things. And I remember my student told me that, you know, Miss Aziza, we are here talking about different things, but when I go outside of the university premises, when I talk to people, they are looking at me very, how to say, shocked and surprisingly. I said, do not be afraid. This is your first step to go to outside. don't be afraid to be different. This is very important. Only in this case, we can have very colorful, a very interesting, very meaningful world surrounding us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, thank you, Aziza, for for detailed explanation why you chose this very motto. Okay, well, here Elbek also shares, tells that he enjoys learning and likes learners. This is great. This is what makes us teachers. Okay, well, now let me move on. Okay, can you see the next question? Yeah, okay. So let me just a second. Well, Aziza, in the article, you mentioned the movie The Room. Yeah, to be honest, I never watched this movie. Maybe it is popular one, but I don't know. You mentioned this movie and you connected it to, zone of proximal development, yeah? And can you please explain how this film is related to this theory?
I don't think I have to talk the plot of this movie. It was very hard to see, I think, but I really recommend you to watch this movie. It's very, very interesting. But the only thing I can say about ZPD, this is actually, I can just tell the philosophy of this movie. If you put one person in a cell, in a one room, closed one, and the child does not see anything surrounding, cannot go outside the world. So his cognitive abilities will be very poor. So you have to learn everything through cooperating, with going outside, talking to people, discussing to people. And it's not just reading the book and just knowing, getting the information. You have to always be in communication with the world, with the different people. And in terms of ZPD, I can say that in my practice, it happened, for example, ZPD means zone of proximal development. It's you can learn things without any teacher or without the instructor. I had something I knew, but I could not understand how can I apply, how can I implement my knowledge. And here, this course, the course PG, the third courses helped me very much how can I apply my knowledges into the practice. Maybe here I can say that ZPD actually helped here, zone of proximal development.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yes, of course. Yeah. What about you, colleagues? So do we have any, teachers who watched this movie? Maybe you also would like to share your opinion. Maybe you found out another concept, another than ZPD. Well, okay. And also, colleagues, you could also share any other films that makes us reflect on our own teaching. So earlier, I noticed in Mentor Hub Telegram channel, so the teachers were discussing, Ron Clark, right? If I'm not mistaken, some of us mentioned Ron Clark, yeah? So this is also one of the popular movies about teaching. Okay, so do you have any other, do you know any other such movies? Yes. Madina. Academic Writing is also a good film. Okay. It is academic writing. So this is about teaching, right, Madina? Okay.
Rosa,
There
can
is
I
another
suggest
film about Writers Society or something like that. There are many films about teaching, but most of them gives us chance to change our attitude to teaching and gives a lot of experience from movies. Ronnie Clark is one of them, but there are many films. We couldn't just remember the exactly name of the films, but just a lot of films we watched this.
Yeah.
Can I suggest something, Firuza, about
Yes,
film?
yes, sure.
2 years ago, when I was designing the curriculum for the professional development course that Aziza graduated from and Firuza yourself graduated from some time ago, my purpose was to find a movie, a Hollywood movie or Bollywood movie to support each topic that we studied, because I thought that talking in the classroom about a certain concept, specifically about a pedagogical concept, sometimes about psychological concept, may be quite difficult. However, when you see it in the movie that is elaborated with the life story of particular people, it becomes like a case study. And for teachers, it's much easier to understand this concept, certain concept, in a more profound and in a better way. And thus, what I suggest is that don't try to watch the movies just for the sake of watching this movie, but try to find a movie that hits a very specific area, a very specific purpose that will help you to enrich your understanding of a certain area in education. If people are interested, I can share the list of movies and which movie is reflective of which pedagogical concept, because this is the only, for me, this is the only right approach, because otherwise you may be watching the movie and you will be lost in your ideas. This is my humble opinion how to approach this. And again, yes, if Nadira allows and if people would want this, I can make a list of things with the topics covered in those movies. And by the way, we searched for the movies. It's not that easy, because it took us about half a year to watch, first to search the movies, then to watch these movies and see if the content, the plot of the movie reflects what we want our students to understand. So it would be wrong to say that any movie about education can be a very good example, because I came across with many movies that are just, I don't know, this is sort of things that, okay, you can watch it once, but it does not have any convincing and powerful message for the teachers, specifically in our country. That's why you have to be quite careful with selecting what to watch and from which film you need to learn and which film maybe just watched once for your enjoyment. So that's a little thing from me.
Yes, we really appreciate Yelena, yes. And Yelena, can you see the movies that our colleagues are mentioning here? Are they familiar to you? Can you just take a look, please?
Mona Lisa's Smile is a good one for those who want to understand better deep and surface approaches to learning and how to engage students in critical thinking and analytical skills development. Mr. Brown with Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts. That one is good for those who try to understand inclusivity and adult education. But that one I wouldn't recommend very much, because this is very specific. Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory for young learners. I am not sure that this is a movie with pedagogical context. This is a good one to watch, but there is nothing of the kind of deep, discourse about pedagogy. And the same goes to Chronicles of Narnia. They are quite good movies, but if you are learning to become a better teacher, probably they are not the ones that you need to be watching. One thing that definitely you can watch straight away after this discussion is the Bollywood movie, Indian one, which is called Like Stars on Earth. And this is the movie about inclusivity. And if you are not familiar with the concept of inclusivity, and if you want to engage with that, because this is a new area in Uzbekistan these days, I truly, truly, truly suggest you to watch it. But you have to promise not to cry, because you can shed a lot of tears watching this movie, but that's a perfect one, like Stars on Earth, a good one. Firuza, go on, and I will try to show the picture. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, well, now, Aziza, again, I'm referring to you. So here is a quotation from your article. So you stated, if you understand the instruction, it means you have done 50% of the task. Yeah. Yeah, from this, lines, I can see that you, you are serious when it comes to instruction, yeah? So can you explain the importance of teaching teacher's instruction? Elaborate on your quotation, yeah.
I can tell about this from 2 points of view, like even 3. As a student, as a teacher, and plus as an administrator, I know a lot of cases because of the exam instructions were given wrongly. Many people got very less marks or even failed. These things happen, unfortunately, sometimes. And I know that as a student, I remember that, again, if you are a student, you are young, you always are rushed to go somewhere just to finish as soon as possible and forget about the lessons. And this happens almost with every student. And here I would highly recommend to students just to read carefully, because really, if they understand the instruction, fully understand, that means the 50% they have already solved or they know the answer. Yes, I remember the situation when was the examination. I was invigilating. It was very long ago. I think it was opening of Malaysian University in business. It is called Business Faculty Management. Malaysians opened this university in technical university. And there was entrance examinations, and one girl asked me, I was invigilating. I'm not very good in mathematics and logics actually, but they had the logic tasks, and she asked me, I cannot understand this question. How can I answer this question? I don't know how to do it. I read it properly, and then suddenly something came to my mind. I saw the answer actually in this question, and I told her, read the question 5 times, and went away. And when I came back, she said, oh, I understood. The answer was in the question itself, but I do not remember what question it was, but it was really helpful. So I want to say that instructions sometimes hide many answers which we do not even know about it. It's very important to understand.
Okay, yes, thank you, Aziza. Well, colleagues, would you like to ask any question from Aziza? Because I have, it seems to me that I'm limiting to you. Maybe you also want to ask some questions from the author. So if you have, please, you can unmute yourselves or you can write in the chat, okay? So feel free to ask any questions, okay? Well, until you think about your question, I would like to address. Yeah, please. Who was speaking? Okay. Well,
I'm Nadima. Yeah, it's very interesting article. Yeah. Yes. Can I ask, or should I write to the chat box?
No, you can ask, please.
Okay. Thank you, Aziza, for this article. I'm eager to read your first article. Also, you mentioned that it was a continuation of the first volume, or way we can read the first article about this course. The second question is, you mentioned about Schwartz, am I right? Schwartz communication. Schwartz, no idea, and there is no reference, and I couldn't find just this article or this reference, and it's interesting to me. Just why did you take this source.
Okay,
Then that's why it would be better if you give the just.
Okay, the first your question. I will send you the first part of my article. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for showing your interest. Another one, this Schwartz, it was actually called, sources from our LRC. I have somewhere else. I can find and also can send it to you. It's closed sources, actually, academic sources, which we can use in our LRC. LRC, I mean Learning Resource Center in our university.
Okay.
Then there are two conclusion parts in your article. The first one is about the postulates, which already Feruza mentioned. The second one is about feedback. Yeah, I really like it about the feedback parts, and it's also taken from the course, I think. Yes, we also had some just professional development courses with Rodba Leiter. He also gave us a lot of just useful things about giving feedback, and this is just very interesting for me. It's just how to say extra just information giving feedback. I always just want to listen feedback from my colleagues also, but sometimes most of our teachers are ashamed to hear lessons. Yeah, but it would be better asking the colleagues coming and joining to their lessons, and after lessons giving feedback. And I like the part where you say that it's not good to give the hot feedback just immediately after watching the lesson or after watching something. Yeah, and try to give the cool hat. Yeah, sometimes we can say, "Oh, wow, it's a great lesson," but then we will think.
Well, Nazima?
I agree with Nazima. It should be, you must be cold-headed when you are giving feedbacks, right? After the lessons, you should not do it because you are under their emotions, and maybe you can just emotions goes on the top of your mind, of your head. So that's why you need some time probably, and then to give feedback. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I'm sorry, it was lagging. Maybe I didn't get the
I
question
also
correctly. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Can I move to the next question?
My internet connection is very poor. That's why I. Yes. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you, Nazima, for your interesting questions and for your deep insight into the article. Okay. Well, as you can see, the color of the question is red. So this question refers not only to the author, but the whole the audience. Okay, so if you read the article, the author mentions her wows about learning series. Yeah. So do you remember what wows means? Yeah. So yeah, I can remind you. So wows, when she stated wows, so some learning series that attracted her well during the course. Okay, so, and I would like to ask you, do you have such, okay, in terms of any kind of learning series, okay, or anything in teaching? What is your wow in teaching? Okay, so any ideas? Okay. Yeah. Again, all of you are invited to use public chat. You can simply type a few phrases, still okay, or if you want, you can take opportunity to talk, okay? And we will be happy to read your comments, okay? So all of us has wows, yeah, as it was mentioned in the article. Even if it is so simple, still we have some things that we really admire. For example, in my case, my wow is peer observation. I love observing, well, teachers' classes, especially the subjects that I teach myself. I really like to compare my own teaching, my own methods with my colleagues. And what about you? What do you admire in your own teaching or any kind of learning theory? Okay, so
Can I say something?
yes, please.
Just I want to recommend to all, highly recommend to when you think about your learning theories, probably you should read Learning Approach of Ivan Illich. This is also the guy who thinks completely in different manner, different way, and he has very interesting thoughts. And the most thing what I wrote, I mentioned in my article, I was very surprised when he in 1972 he wrote very progressive thoughts, the thoughts which would be now they could work, they can be applied today. So it's very, very interesting. Ivan Illich, I think he is from American. He was a priest and then became an educational professional in education. So just I really recommend you to read about this guy. Is interesting, very interesting. And connectivism, I wrote about connectivism. This is, some people do accept this as a learning theory, but some people do not, because they are writing about the, they're saying that education can be informal way, in different way. You are talking, you are going through the internet, networking, for example, Facebook or other social media. It's also kind of informal, but it's still educating people, education. So this is actually, I liked it.
You know, when I all the time read this word learning series, you know, I reflect on my own earlier teaching. So all the time when when we talk about learning series, I like to tell my own story. You know, when I was a young teacher, or well, I was afraid of, you know, books about theory. Some years ago, if you remember, there was a very nice library by British Council, right? We used to visit this library, and there was a big section full of books about learning theories. And, you know, it was my dread to approach these books, because even if I don't know, even if I knew the translation, still I could not understand the meaning of this series. That's why I all the time avoided this, let's say, this shelf of books. And after completing the course, the teacher training course, well, I started to delve into this learning series. And now, you know, this is my well, let's say, favorite one. All the time I try to find out what this certain learning theory is. Yeah, it's interesting. It has become interesting. That's why it is important for all teachers not to, well, consider their teaching from practical point, but also we should be aware of different learning theories. And in this case, so I think me and Aziza, you also can suggest all teachers to take some CPD courses, yeah, any kind of teacher training courses, in order to, well, enhance their, well, some theoretical points in teaching, right?
Yeah, I want to add one more thing about these learning theories. I pretty much, I love to apply Vygotsky's constructivism learning theory, It's very interesting because here the fundamental role is of social interaction in the development of cognition, right? And in my lessons, I usually, I very much apply this methodology. Like, for example, today I came to the class, I said, I saw these desks, again, this teacher-centered classroom, and said, why don't we make a circle and we will just discuss, just discussion, because they had to bring their drafts, they had to prepare, so plan and draft and answer the questions. I said, no, just forget about it. Let's just talk about it. And if somebody will start, just talk. It's not necessary. If you forgot, it's okay. Just think about what would you like to speak about. So, and others just through the dialogue, through the asking questions, collaboration, it was, you know, the class session was so interesting. And in the end of the session, some of students told me, you know, now I understand what I have to do with my coursework. And I think at least if one person, one student says by the end of the session these words, I think it's precious.
Okay. Yes, you're right, Aziza. Okay, so unfortunately, we cannot see any opinions about
something.
Wow.
Can I say?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, I'm Sabina.
Okay.
So, you know, wow, this is a really special thing for me when students say to me this one, because when I teach something difficult, yes, for example, essay writing or paragraph writing, or I don't know, listening skills, I don't know, whatever. So when they learn something, like when they show good results at the end, this is wow for me. I really appreciate, because I know how it is hard to teach somebody honestly, and I really appreciate when students understand and learn. So this is important for me. Even if students say, wow, I learned it because it was difficult at the beginning, and now I know how to write this essay or some kind of type of writing.
Well, Sabina, I think that so you are inspired when you see the result of your own teaching, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah, because from my own experience, I know that it is not easy to teach somebody this one, and I really appreciate it. And this is wow. This is wow for me.
This is wow for you. Great, thank you. Okay. Well, more opinions. Well, why not to ask Miss Nadira
Okay,
about...
is the teacher, can I just...
Yeah, please. So, please.
Internet problem. Nadira has an internet problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe
can I say something? If we give our object to the lesson and
Okay. Well, Nazima.
Yeah. Is it working or not? I don't know. My internet connection is poor today.
Okay. We will try to hear you. Yeah, Nazima, can you type if it is hard for you to? Yeah. So we will be looking forward to read your comments. Okay. Well. So why not to ask Miss Nadira about her wow, to hear from from experienced one of the experienced teachers. So what is your wow in your teaching?
Firuza, do you want Nadira to answer? Nadira, are you with us?
Sorry, I got distracted for a while. Yeah, and didn't realize. Okay, the wows. I really sorry, I missed what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by?
Yeah. Okay. So when we say wow, the thing that you admire in your own teaching. So what are you attracted by in your own teaching? Any kind of learning theory or anything that makes you happy in your own teaching?
Well, there are lots of principles, right, that I believe in, and I try to stick to that, right? One of the things is probably always starting where learners are. I think that's important, not starting like with your own agenda, but kind of first of all probing where the students are in all different ways, not only intellectually, the cognitively, whether they know how much they know about this topic or not, right? But also probing their mental readiness, right? Mental health, emotional readiness, right? And all this, they come as a package, whether they are ready to learn and how much they know, so that you can build on that, on their previous knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Nadira. Well, here Nazima has shared. So as a teacher, if we achieve our objects of the lesson, I think it is wow for me. Yeah. So as Sabina, Nazima also feels happy when she sees some results. It's great. Well, so yeah, usually good teachers teach for results. Yeah. Okay, well, Yelena, I have a wow that is more of a negative nature. Do you want yes, negative? I'm even curious. What kind of negative, wow do you have?
Okay, wow is a discovery, right? So you did something or you thought about something and you start questioning it. So 2 weeks ago, we are still in the online mode, correct? Almost everywhere in all countries all over the world, we teach online. And 2 weeks ago, one of my colleagues, and this is my colleagues from a postgraduate course, not a language teacher, she called me on the telephone and she said, you know what? I'm teaching a class. And I said, okay, and the students, they are so bad. I said, why? Why are they so bad? That's because they don't come to the Zoom with their web camera on. I said, okay, interesting. And I said, what can be the reason? And she said, let's do research about it. Let's study why students do not have their web cameras on when they enter the virtual classroom on the Zoom or on any other learning management system. I said, okay, that's a very good idea because we can study and we can publish an article. The bad COVID situation allows a little bit of thinking, right? And pushes us to research. So we created the questions with my colleague about the reasons why students do not switch on the web cameras. And then I was sitting one evening, 2 or 3 days after the initial conversation, and I was having all my thoughts going on and on and on. And then I thought, okay, interesting. What if they do not switch on their web cameras because teachers do not ask them to switch on their cameras, or teachers themselves do not use the web cameras? And I shared this with my colleague. And you know what we found out the next day in the university when we started to ask colleagues? About 60% of teachers themselves don't care. They say, why bother? We don't care. No web camera, that's okay. We don't need to see the faces of our students, and it's not necessary that the students can see our faces. And you know what happened? That was such a big negative wow that we were completely devastated, because being teachers in mind, we truly believed that this is a must to create the support and learning environment for us teachers, to have our faces visible to our students and to encourage our students to kind of make at least the illusion that we are close to each other and this learning community will support our learners. And we were, shocked when teachers said, this doesn't matter. And this is the real case in our local Uzbek environment. And this is a big negative wow for me, which sends the message that probably we do not do enough of professional development for teachers if about 60% of them truly believe that web camera and face and identity does not matter. So
well,
that's
I beg to differ, Elena. I've been online teacher for the last almost 4 years here in Canada, and not always I turn on my camera with my students. Not all my students, like 90% of my students, do not turn on their cameras. We have sometimes with some groups I have like group class, and I have also one-on-one class, and also they don't. There are so many, it's sometimes just a personal choice, individual, some introverts, some people just prefer not to, right? Or some, it might be it's not your best day, right? You don't want to show your camera, right? There's so many reasons, starting from, security sometimes, they don't want to be in a video recording, or we have here cases with refugees and things like that. So for security purposes, they don't want to be to be prosecuted or something. There are many political and millions of reasons why both teachers and students do not want to be on the camera. And whether it affects learning or not, that's a good question to research, I think. Because you are assuming that, it is important for learning, right? But I think by itself, this is a question to dig deeper.
right. But we established already some theoretical framework, and the social learning theory of learning postulates that it is a must. And Nadira, I agree and disagree with you, but when you enter the classroom, the traditional classroom, you never cover your face with anything because you are in front of students.
Yes, but face-to-face is different, right? Than media, right? Because it has some, people, there are many different kind of privacy issues on the media, right? Than being in person. So yes, when we go in person, we also take that risk, right? But we kind of assume that. But it's another level, what's on media, right? So you are kind of, there are much more things that you might be get into trouble with.
Can I add here something? I think, yes, we can admit sometimes students can just turn off their cameras. But in terms of teacher, for example, I myself, I don't feel very comfortable when I just off my camera. I think that students must see my face. I don't know. And we are all human beings first. And we should not allow computers, technologies to come first of the human beings. So yes, soul, in my opinion.
Yes and no. Yes, that's what I mean. That's your preference, right? But I agree. That the teacher presence, is really important in the online learning. But it's not a must. I mean, and it shouldn't be in online education. It's not I think it is not well researched, but I've taken both as a student and as a teacher with on and off camera, but I really don't know to what extent that it affects learning. It didn't affect my personal learning or my personal teaching so far. As I said, I have for 3 years doing it day to day on a daily basis. So Yeah, I think that's a question to explore, but it takes time, I think, within some time, but it doesn't mean, you know, they are not engaged. That's another thing, right? So like, you know, some people just turn off their camera and they mute that, they just don't listen, right? That's another thing, right? But when they are engaged, but without camera, that might be okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good question. So some students don't have cameras, and that's true as well, even in Canada. If they say, no, I don't have a camera, that's what can you do? Nothing.
It seems to me that our
Then most of our students
wow topic is online or offline teaching.
Well, yeah, it's a new kind of thing, and many people have different, I think sometimes false assumptions about online learning. You know, when everybody was kind of rushed to move to online education, and then people started, you know, having some preliminary thoughts about, you know, they tried something and they said, oh no, it doesn't work. Like online learning doesn't work at all. It's not effective, for example, right? But I think you should allow kind of the value of doubt to give it a try. So there are different ways that you can, it's a kind of a new platform that you can kind of dig it deeper and explore further.
Yeah, thank you.
I can agree with Nadira in terms of probably we have to give freedom to people, freedom of choice.
Exactly.
So the main issue, I think. That's why learning must be fun. So in this case, allow them to just switch off the cameras.
Yeah. I like this idea. Learning must be fun. Yeah. Well, similarly here, Miss Jamila Mahmoudova writes, being a teacher is always wow. Yeah. It's great. Yeah, we know. Miss Jamila Mahmoudova, yes, she is full of energy. She enjoys teaching. Yes, all the time. Whenever I participate in any kind of project, I always see her, our active teacher. Yeah. Okay, Gulnoza. So her wow is the happiness in her pupils' eyes. Yes, eyes can tell a lot. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Nazima. Yeah. So Zoom is not working well. That's why you don't use your camera. Okay, Gulnoza. Yes, some students don't have cameras. If they answer and claim their answers, that means they have understood. Okay. Yes. Well, thank you, colleagues. So our WOWs has led us to talk about online and offline teaching. Great. And here comes the last questions. So what is your takeaway from this article? So as you can see in this article, a lot of concepts, a lot of principles were touched. So what did you get from this article or from today's discussion? Okay, any suggestions for our further, article discussion clubs? Okay, so your reflections, please. Would you like to share your thoughts?
Okay, we would like to say thanks to just all teachers and just writers to the article also. It's very interesting article, and we are waiting the new articles and next just webinars, reading clubs. I have never read this kind of just volume or this kind of magazine in Uzbekistan. I didn't know even about this kind of just magazine. I know about the forum. I know about the most other foreign magazines, ITAFL, or the kind of a very good magazine in Uzbekistan. I'm really happy that I just open it to myself this kind of magazine. Maybe we will write the article, and maybe we will just order to our university. And thank you one more time for this kind of just reading club and article also. And we are looking forward from Aziza Hakim new articles also. Thank you for this article.
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm motivated by this discussion. I've just finished your article. Yes, yes, Miss Jamila, of course. Great. We are happy if this discussion motivated you. Well, Gulnoza, myself, not to give up as a teacher, try to continue. Yes, yes, self-development. CPD is really important in teaching. Okay. More opinions? Yeah, Nazima, by the way, thank you for revealing that you never heard about this magazine. By this discussion, we want to call all Uzbekistan language teachers to contribute to the flourishment of this magazine. We really want this magazine to live and live long, yeah, because this is the only magazine that is published in Uzbekistan in English and specifically designed for language teachers. And I hope all the teachers will contribute to its development.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Gulnoza, it's good. Yes, here, thank you, Yelena, for sharing all these details and your email address. Okay, so colleagues, so can you please keep these addresses so that you could contact if you wish, well, to sign up to this magazine or to publish in this, ALTFL in Uzbekistan. This is the title of the magazine.
Can I say the final word for today's meeting? Nadira, the next volume, which is due in about 2-3 days, of ALTFL is going to be completely free of charge. And I hope that you will help to distribute that one. I'm going to send you a PDF version. Would it be possible to upload it on the Facebook page that we have? Okay, so everybody, it will take me about maybe maximum 1 week to finalize. The draft is ready on my desk, but I need to sign a couple of papers and it will go to Nadira, maybe maximum 5-6 more days.
Okay. Okay, here Sabina writes, so she's proud of being a teacher and she loves her job and students. And she feels motivated by this discussion. Okay, thank you, Sabina. And here Ilhamovna, what is your name? Ilhamovna, I cannot see your name. So she also expresses that she is Dildora. Thank you. She enjoyed. Okay, your every comment, well, matters for us, means a lot. Thank you, colleagues. So, Ms. Nadira.
Yes, thank you so much, Firuza, for moderating today's discussion. It was a really kind of, we at the end had a very hot discussions, and I think, definitely, everybody got something to think further, I think, right? So, and I think that's the main aim, right? To reflect on our learning and teaching, and not only find answers to our questions, but ask new questions, right? Thank you, Aziza, for talking to us, for writing, first of all, this wonderful article, and then sharing your reflections on your article, right, and on the course. Thank you, Yelena, for making this possible and for being the editor working relentlessly on that journal for the how many years? Several years or 5 years?
5
wow.
years.
Wow, for 5 years already. It is, I'm sure it is making a great difference in Uzbekistan. Yeah, I would be really honored to distribute the free version, which, yeah, free feels good always, right? But it's a really nice article that people would love, I'm sure, to read and relate to their own learning and teaching. Yeah, so then thank you everyone for your participation. Get tuned and wait for the announcement for the next article discussions. Right?
Yeah, thank you all. See you.
Thank you. Yes, great.